You say, what about the paycheck protection plan, huh? Well, you take my times you gotta take the sunglasses off. Let them know you're getting real serious. And you go, lean on me, man. He said, lean on me. Yeah, lean on me, man. You're not feeling strong, man. Lean on a good education. That's a big whiteboard, huh? Yeah, a big whiteboard. So I made a smaller one, for teachers. He said, paycheck protection plan. What is that? Well, I'll tell you about the Egyptians, huh? Anybody know about the Egyptians? Here, let's talk about the Egyptians. We have pharaohs. Pharaohs, you know. Pharaohs, they we know a lot of stuff, huh? So let's say you're gonna walk like an Egyptian, you gotta talk like an Egyptian. Nah, man, you just gotta be smart. Look, paycheck protection plan, okay? Let's go talk about Stargate. You see Stargate movie? Everybody's worried and they're spread because they're uneducated, okay? Now I'm gonna give you a three-part plan, for the Trinity. This is the Trident, man. Trident. Trident wisdom, okay? Try wisdom with teaching, huh? So it's a Stargate. You see, all those people were uneducated, okay? So an army base moved through the waters of space and time to a Stargate, okay? And man, the Army Corps of Engineers moved through the waters of space and time, okay? You gotta have the Navy for that, that's a lot of spirit water, okay? So they go through the waters of time and space to a Stargate, you see? They try to understand the International Space Station and some of those alien satellites that were left behind, huh? So they go, what is a Stargate? I says, well, open a door, man. Okay? You see it's raining outside? Well, like a Army Corps of Engineers goes, man, we got water in the sky, we got water in the ocean, we got water in the lake, we got rivers, we got lakes, we got streams, we're engineering all this stuff. How we get water out there in the desert? So we got to start education, man. Didn't you see Stargate? It said they moved through the waters of space and time because they need to move some of the water for space and time for crops to grow, right? Okay, so now they're getting the common sense. Okay, so we say, okay, I'll tell you this. We got a Stargate, right? They land on the planet and nobody has their education, man. They say, oh, an alarm's going off. Hold on. Hey, nobody has education, so they're like, how are we going to educate these people, man? He says, well, can anybody translate? I don't know, man. I can't translate today. He says, well, go find a guy that can translate something, okay? He says, okay, hold on. Yeah. Oh, okay. So he goes, all right, I'll tell you what. Can you translate this little piece in this cave, for the cave, for the stuff? We found all the scrolls and the scripts and the ancient Egyptian symbols and signs and stuff. Well, anybody know about them alien Indians or the Indian aliens, man? I don't know which way we're looking at it today, but you got a Stargate, right? So it says, well, the builders reject the cornerstone. And they all thought they were talking about people, places, and things. It's like, no, man, that one little piece. That one little piece, if you get it in there right, and they're like, oh, man, that's like the key to unlock all the scrolls, man. Oh, man, so the teachers could start teaching, like really teaching. So we sent this crew, like a missionary mission, with a bunch of people. We sent them on airplanes, boats, submarines. I mean, we even tried time travel, and then we go, man. Then we tried a space station. We tried shuttle programs. We had these little airplanes and personal craft underwater, all kind of stuff, man. Navy SEALs, you name it, man. We drop them off all over the world, man. It says, can we educate them now? I says, I don't know, man. Maybe they were binge watching the wrong series, it's like playing baseball, man. Like just throwing some ideas out there, throwing the pitching the business ideas, the tourist ideas, the educational ideas, and nobody's catching it yet. So he's like, okay, hold on. So everybody went on baseball strike, and then like, well, maybe we'll play basketball. It was shooting for the hoops, man, for the hopes of the sky, man, and maybe it would land it right there in a basket, you know. So it's like, okay, they didn't get that, and it says, okay, let's try playing soccer. And then like, okay, so we got a field goal here, and we got a field goal there, and it's like, well, they didn't get it with soccer. So it's like, okay, anybody find that translator yet? Because, man, a Stargate thing, man, you got binge watch that yet? And then, man, everybody's going to be binge watching it now, right? And it says, well, he didn't like that series. So he said, okay, it must have been a World Series, man. And it's like, you talked to, you know, Robin Williams. I told you, the greatest American hero, man. They just forgot to give him the book. Why didn't they give him the book? Because they need that one little symbol, man. Oh, man, the one little symbol. It says, yeah, the key code, man. It just unlock everything. It says, okay, I tell you what. You watch a Stargate Atlantis, and it says, okay, let's give them a little history with some science, some mathematics, and some, you know, engineering, you know. There's some more engineering, and, man, engineering, man. Don't you know they call them Indians, you know, engines for engineering, okay? So we go, let's give them some more engineering. They binge watch this next, man. Everybody gonna be binge watching Stargate Atlantis. Why? Well, you know, they had a big city, right? And then some of the rooms and stuff were flooding, okay? So you got some of the rooms on Stargate Atlantis were flooding. They said, yeah, and they're always looking for more power, you know, to repower the city. It's like, oh, man, you mean, yeah, because, you know, they ran out of energy, you know, renewable stuff, man. You know, the stuff they were using wasn't renewable, so they ran out of energy. And then the city started flooding and sinking. You know, they had sinkholes and all kinds of stuff because they was pumping all the oil out of the land, man. So they said, maybe we tell them about the spaceship stuff, man. Oh, you need space science, you know, like outer space stuff? Yeah, like alien stuff, man. And they're looking at it like, well, if the city was flooding, you know, maybe that's the flood that, you know, God was talking about, the flood of wisdom, you know, flooding their brains, man. Well, you know, a lot of people died to let people know that. They on a submarine. And the submarines are flooding, man. There's so much knowledge under the sea. They were researching. And it's like, man, the submarines is flooded and we can't get it back up there, man. How do we do? And it says, well, you know, we got a lot of people on the face of the planet trying to get back up to space. Must be a space race. Well, we start under the ocean. And then they would say, well, you know, you hear about them mermaids? Mermaids, yeah, you know, myrrh, frankincense, you know. Frankensteins, like crazy people in myrrh. Well, we had to have mermaids to clean all that stuff up. And we made school teachers. It's like, man, then the school teachers couldn't teach. So it says, there we go, man. That's why we said Stargate, man. So we got a Stargate Atlantis, and we got a ballast tanks in a submarine, man. And it's like, you could teach all that with a submarine? Man, didn't you see what I did with the trucks with just some dirt? Okay? I says, okay, so let's take a submarine. They said the city was flooding, right? Now, if you flood the ballast tanks on a submarine, what happened to the city under the sea? You know, like an airplane landing. We don't want it to crash, though, right? So we said, okay. So we got a city under the sea, and we got a ballast tanks. And if they flood, they goes, oh, let's sink it. We got to raise it up. We got to get this water out of here, man. Pump the water out. Oh, yeah. Same thing with an airplane, you know. So they way up there, and they want to bring it down real fast. They say, well, we got to have the ballast tanks, man. You know, like a Star Trek Enterprise, man. You got to have the ballast tanks. They go, man, so you telling me the hot air balloon stuff, they blow up, is not really, you know, hey, you see what they do with a sailboat? I tell you, you want to know about flight, you ask a sailor. You say, that's a Navy guy, you know. You know, on the front of the ship, they put this stuff, and they got a whisker pole out there, man, you know. They got a line come up from it, and we say, hey, you see that extra jib up there? It's like a Genoa sail. A Genoa sail, you know, yeah, man, big wind, man, big wisdom. You know, a lot of words to speak. It's like a Genoa sail, you know. You Genoa sailorman? Okay. Genoa sailorman? Okay, okay. A salesman? You know, man, I'm trying to sell the idea. Hold on. You talk to the Navy sailor? Okay, we must have sailed all the waters, man, all the lands and the space, everything else. I tell you what, you know, we want to raise that up. Okay. What do? Oh, they put the pole on there, and instead of using metal, it's real heavy, man. And, you know, you can't use the weak stuff like a PVC and stuff because, you know, it'll break, man, and it don't work. He says, you know, what do you got? Well, we got some alloys. No alloys, man. Did you see Star Trek? He said we make a strong glass. We could put a whale in the water, man, at SeaWorld. You know, you use regular glass, let it break and go all over the place. He says, man, so you're telling me we put clear glass to prove we could put a whale in an aquarium, and if we could put a whale in an aquarium, that proved we could have glass on the water on a submarine so we could explore under the ocean? Man, you've got to be kidding me. Nobody ever thought of that, huh? I says, I'll tell you what. Did you watch Stargate Atlantis? Okay. So I tell you what, we got we'll pump the water out, you know. But what's water? Well, it's gas, man, in a liquid form. Oh, you mean we compress the gases and it comes to a liquid form, makes it real heavy? Of course, man. Now, we don't want to use rocket fuel. You know, we could use a weather balloon to go to space and just float up there if we want. But we figure if we teach everybody science, you know, it'll cost a lot of money at first. Maybe they'll start to think. So we compress all of that gas into a liquid to make that rocket real heavy. Real heavy. Now, if you got something less dense, those hot air balloons, they really didn't move that fast because they didn't have any brains, you know? So if you fill up the brains with the Spirit of God and some knowledge and wisdom, what do you get? Well, it compresses you down, it gives you some force, you know? You're like, man, so you're telling me they put all that fuel in that rocket, compress it down, make it real heavy, make sure it can go real fast? We says, man, we didn't need that much force, man, to get that rocket up there, but if we put a whole lot of weight in there, maybe we show people that we could take a lot of stuff that's really heavy and move it all around the world if we need to. So if we redesign the helicopters and the airplanes, then maybe we can start helping some people in the desert, huh? There's some thirsty people out there that need some wisdom, okay? So we say, okay. So as the rocket's raising up, he says, man, it's starting to uncompress the gas. So it's not just lighting the fuse on the rocket, but the decompression that's also making it move through time and space. Oh man, so you mean that's what speeds it up or slows it down? Hey, you go from A to C, you get it? After Christ, after wisdom, man. Hey, you believe it now? Hey, there's a Bible, it's called a book, man. It's got a lot of knowledge, wisdom, science, mathematics, you name it, it's all in there, man. And we say, man, did you watch a Stargate? He says, man, they're gonna be binge watching that now. Well, if you couple, you know, the Stargate with the Sequest, okay, and then you get in there, you go, man, that's what those people were talking about, West Side? Yeah, man, West Side, you get it? And they go, man, well, you know, if the sun come up here and arch over, you see, and you get like a come out a rainbow thing, like you know, when it's raining out there and the sun's shining through, you can start seeing some of those nuclear particles in the prism scheme, you know, like a prism scheme, yeah, the scheme of things, man. I told you about the little pyramid triangle with 3 sides, of how to get the planes off the ground easier, and plus a space cushion for landing with those particles you can't see and how to manipulate that stuff. And they go, man, you gotta be kidding me. I says, well, you know, the promises of God are always good. I says, okay. So you got the Stargate Atlantis thing now? It's like maybe we're catching a grip on it, man. I can't wrap my head around it right now, but man, I'm starting to. It's like, man, I was high, man. I'm doing drugs, man. What is it? This guy's talking to me, man, from Top Gun flight school, man, and I'm flying higher than ever, man, and I ain't even in the plane yet. I says, man, didn't you watch Fantasy Island? Well, some of that fantasy stuff wasn't fantasy, man. That was just a psychological way of teaching you guys some of the truth. And then they go, man, it's a plane. It's a plane. He says, no, man, that's Captain Kirk Star Trek stuff, man. Hey, you know they got those alloys, man. He says, man, you put the fibers in there, man. Put the fibers in there. It's real lightweight, and it's strong as steel. Now you start talking about decompressing and recompression and floating a Star Trek Enterprise up to space, man. You want to travel through space? How you going to do that without the crops, okay? That's why we got to make a better helicopters with the blades I was talking about, huh? And that's why we got to have better airplanes. And then peace treaties, man. Peace treaties. Why? Because, you know, psychologically, you say psychological team. Oh, man. Yeah, everybody thinking with the same kind of brain, man, want to get things done. But like, hey, did you see the Dumbo drop? That's like the Republicans, man. We just dropped our Republicans off in the middle of everything all around the world. Said, hey, man, let's go get some for God, eh?